Hey guys, Val Nichols here coming at you live on this beautiful Wednesday. It is looking like springtime outside, finally. I'm here in Oregon, so it's been very, very cold, especially after traveling so much and being in like Southern California for so long. But I want to hop on here today because I was really feeling inspired that someone might need to hear this. I was talking to someone earlier today, this morning, and we were talking about how, this whole crazy thing that's going on right now, like this is a time that our generation, that most generations have never seen before, right? This is a time of newness where we were on the edge of something like pivoting, but yet we're all like kind of forced into this like working from home thing. And she was telling me this story about how when she first went into this shutdown and she started working from home, she was really resisting it. Like she was in that place of resistance. And some of you guys, you might get that. Like you might be in that place, or you might have been in this place where, we were all told to work from home, or we were all told that we couldn't go to work or go to coffee shops, whatever it is. We can't even go to church now. Thank goodness a lot of us are pivoting online into the church field, which if you're looking for a great church, talk to me about it. But, like she was telling me that at first she was really resisting it. She was feeling that resistance of working from home because in her mind, it just didn't seem possible, right? And some of you, we might have felt that. Like, I can be that way. Sometimes I'll get new information or there's a change coming, and my first reaction is to just kind of like resist it and think of all the reasons why it's not going to work, right? Like I'll come up against this wall of resistance. And so she's sharing with me how here we are like 3 weeks into this working from home, 3 weeks into this shelter in place movement. And now she's feeling like, wow, I can't believe I was resisting it because, I didn't have the information before. And her first reaction was like, it's not going to work. This is why, having all of these like reasons why, very analytical, very, just analytical and needing to know the reasons of how it's going to work. So she was feeling a lot of resistance around working from home. And now that she's in it, she's thinking like, oh my gosh, I may never go back to the real world of working. I may never go back to my sitting at a desk 40 hours a week. These ways that are not really working. And she's realizing that there's this whole new opportunity for her to be working from home. So my question is to you, as we go into this time where everything's different, this time where a lot of us have literally been like, it's almost like the rug was pulled out, right? Like we came into this new time in this new place where everything was upset and everything was just kind of like removed from us, right? And this brings up all kinds of different reactions. Some of you may have been excited. Some of you may have had to worry about childcare. What do I do with my kids all day? Now you're having to learn how to teach your kids. Now you're learning how to have to share a workspace with your husband if you're both working from home. Maybe you're spending more time at home. Maybe you are realizing that, you're cooking meals and you're trying to figure out what's for dinner, and you're trying to figure out all of these things and manage everything, right? So with that, a lot of resistance can come up. And I want to let you know, like wherever you're at in this space is totally what's supposed to happen, right? Like this too is perfect. This too is perfect, and everything is unfolding the way it's supposed to be unfolding. And I truly believe, I know there's a lot of people that are out there that are sick right now. They're losing things, they're losing their jobs, they're losing incomes, they're losing their independence, their freedom, whatever that is. I have a personal friend who has coronavirus, who is in San Diego right now, has coronavirus, is, luckily surviving through it, is doing amazing. But, there's a lot of real pain and a lot of real stuff going on in the world. And there's also this beautiful opportunity. There's like this silver lining inside of all of this. And some of you guys might be experiencing this as well. Just like my client that I was talking to earlier, who was super resistant. She has a business and she also is in the corporate world still because she loves it. She's very successful in both. And she was really resistant toward taking that leap of working from home because a lot of her identity was in that showing up to work, being this person, being this, having this like identity. Her identity was wrapped up in who she was, that leadership, that power, like that person at work, having the structure and the stability of going to work, being something, doing all those things. And here's the thing, when we're facing the unknown, like we all are, we're all in this together. We're facing the unknown one day at a time, sometimes one moment at a time. And I want to share with you guys, this feeling that we have, like, I remember back in, 2018 in May, I had talked to my husband about in April how I wanted to go full time in my business. And we had this conversation. We were in the sauna because all of our ideas happen in the sauna. I don't know why. It's just like, I don't know, the heat, like it's our time to connect, right? It's our time for real connection. And it's just the two of us and we're in there and it's like, it's a magical space. And we were sitting in the sauna in April of 2018. And I remember telling him, like, I was so afraid, you guys, because that fear, that apprehension, that shallow feeling, when you're like, you want to say something and like you're nervous to say it. So you're kind of like sputtering around it and like dancing around it. And like, I remember just telling him, I'm like, babe, I want to go full time in my business and I want to eventually quit my corporate job, which made no sense to anybody, even myself. I wanted to quit my corporate job and go full time in my business. And at the time I was, top earner at my business. I was the company I was working for in corporate. I was making great money, top salesman. Like, it didn't make sense, right, for me to leave. But you know what? Like, when I finally got the words out and I said that that's what I wanted to do, there was this relief. There was this sense of relief, right? There was like this sense of like, I spoke my truth and I said it out loud. Because sometimes when you have something that's that important in your life, like, it's so scary to like actually say it, to put it out there in the world. It's so scary because it's like, it means so much to you. It means so much. It's almost like your baby, right? And like, it's so scary to like put it out there in the world. But I remember the feeling that I had. I remember that feeling that if I didn't do this now, then I knew that I would look back in 6 months and I would regret it. I knew that if I didn't go all in and I didn't like commit, like, take action and then you commit. Like, if I didn't commit in this moment, then I would go on in my life knowing that that was the time, that this was the time for me to shine, that this was the time for me to say yes. This was the time for me to take the risk. And this was the time for me to go all in. Because what if a year down the line, I looked back and I hadn't said yes, I hadn't taken action, and I was sitting there regretting? Because I think that, one of the worst feelings you can ever have is shame and guilt. And that feeling of looking back and realizing that you missed an opportunity. Of looking back and realizing that, you should have, I hate when people shit on you, but like, honestly, this is what goes through my head, right? Like, I should have taken the opportunity when it was in front of me. And that feeling is just, brings so much just shame and guilt and all of that. And, this was the personal feelings that I had. I knew that in that moment, if I didn't say it out loud, if I didn't bring to light the true, like, deeper purpose of my life, because this was something that was on my heart for years, and I kept taking that book because it was too scary, right? I was afraid. I was caught up in just like the terror and the bewilderment of, I don't know how, am I really ready? Am I really the right person? Who am I? Am I good enough? So I would take that book and I would put it back up on the shelf. And every once in a while, I would look over at it and remember that I had this deeper purpose and this deeper dream. And I just remember like looking at that book over and over, sitting there on the shelf, until literally one day God said, pull that book off the shelf, dust it off, and open up that chapter because I'm not done. So I just want to say this because, my point in sharing all this is that so many times there's an opportunity in front of us. So often we can look at something and think that, when everything is in place, then I'll do this. When everything's aligned, then I'll take action. When everything makes sense, then I'll say yes. And here's the thing, if you're waiting for the opportunity for someone to give you permission, if you're waiting for everything to fall into place and make sense, then believe me, you're never going to take action. If you can get the edge of like a true successful entrepreneur and what they do, or, you know, a leader, an influencer of what they do, is they say yes before they're ready. And I'm not saying like to go out there and just be frivolous and foolish and, you know, whatever, rack up $100,000 on your credit card. But I'm saying like, you know, when there's that feeling in your heart that there's something deeper that's calling you, right? And the silver lining is that in this time, in this moment, there's so much opportunity to take a look at your life. Look at the priorities that you have and see what's working and what's not. Not in a place of like self-beat up, not in a place of like morbid self-reflection, but in a place of like noticing the gap. Noticing the places in your life that maybe aren't filling you up, the places in your life that aren't serving, the places in your life where you feel a little bit dead. You know, like I just read on, I just did a little Bible study, and it was talking about, you know, the dry bones, how scripture talks about a joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones, right? So if there's anywhere you're feeling that dryness, you're feeling those dry bones, you're feeling a gap where, you know, a place in your life is not serving you, you know, just take that information and see how you can move forward. See how you can pivot in this time, because right now there's so much opportunity. There's so much time. I mean, that's one of our biggest things we come up against is time, right? We're always hitting that block of like, we don't have time, we don't have time, we don't have time. Right now we have so much time. And we also get to realize that, you know, the things that weren't working, we get to adjust, we get to shift. We get to shift into this place of creating an intentional, dynamic life from here on out. So who are you going to be when this is all over? You get to choose right now. It doesn't matter what you've chosen till this point, right? Like that's gone. That's done. It's over. So if you can look back and you say you're proud of your accomplishments, or maybe you have a couple of things in your life that you're not proud of, that doesn't matter. That's just information. And from here on forward, you get to take a look and see those opportunities, and you get to say yes to whatever it is that you want to create in this moment and beyond. So I hope that encouraged you guys. I just really felt inspired to come on here. I don't know if someone needed to hear that, or, you know, what the message was in all of that, but let me know, what was your takeaways? What did you get from it? I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Mwah! Bye.